Going on, guys? Episode 3 about survival mode. Now, after my experience and after my traumatic experience per se, like that, it was very difficult right now. Like transitioning from Baltimore, Maryland, all the way back home to Detroit, Michigan. Doing that transition like that, like before, I was pretty much on survival mode, meaning where as though um I kept that switch on like a it's like basically like a light switch that never can turn off. Meaning where it's like I'm always grinding, I'm always focused on everything else. Now I'm back home in Michigan. It's like I had to learn how to turn it off, turn it on, turn it off with that. That's the thing. When I like survival mode to me was basically you basically live on the edge. Like you yourself is keeping yourself sane while you locking up what happened to you years ago. That's what I was doing to myself, and of course, it was real difficult for me. Like as of now, it was real difficult for me, like just to turn off the survival mode, and I could stay relaxed. If I kept it on, I'll just keep on saying like, okay, you know, I just I want to be able to enjoy the simple things of life, like for video gaming as well too, and playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, reading comic books, or whatever like that. Being a kid as I am, or hanging around with with my friends or people who I trust. That's close to me. Like the thing about it is like like I say this to some people like that. Like it takes a while to get back to the groove of things. Like for me, I'm rebuilding myself back where I used to be. Like I say again, the hobbies I used to love with that. And again, back in my old two videos. Um it's okay to rebuild. Just don't forget who you were, who you are. And I did forgotten who I was back then, years ago. And I'm becoming who I am now. One thing I'll say to everybody like this. It's like it's not it's not hard, it's not difficult, or it's not easy at all. It's not easy to where it's like you can't forget about what happened to you at all in the past. Yeah, one thing I say about this is just that forgive and but never forget. You always can forgive, but never forget what happened. Okay, never forget what happened to what you went through and what you had to go through to get to this point. I had to go through what I had. I had to go through what I've been through. I could say it like that. Um, and now I'm beginning to understand who I am. Like for example, I never had no boundaries. I had stability, but I had no boundaries in my life. I had no such thing as boundaries at all. I had boundaries for myself and my other person who I was in a relationship in, but at the same time, I ain't had no boundaries for myself. To where it's like I give and give and give, and I kept giving like that. Pretty much, I put all my eggs in one basket, and that was wrong. Okay, I lost my identity, and that's when and right now I'm gaining my identity as well too throughout the whole course of my healing process. Sometimes though, like when it comes to certain things that trigger me like that, like for example, I can't be around people who I can't be around stories about cancer. I can't. It triggers me. I know people who survived through cancer and people who still surviving through cancer like that. Keep up the good fight. Don't need to lose it. Don't need to lose that. I don't want y'all to lose a fight against cancer. Cancer is a big ugly thing, and I don't like it. I hate it. That's another conversation later on down the line. Um, it's like I all the emotions that I've been through like that. I close them up. I shut them off like that right here. And I do feel like that. I do feel for people who fight through cancer, kids, grown adults, young adults as well too. it's heavy like that. Like when my wife was going through the stage of leukemia, it was an emotional toughness. It was very emotional. I went to what I was basically staying in a hospital more than I was staying at home, and to this day I feel as though I ain't do enough. But at the same time, people or anybody else will tell me like you did enough, Lewis. You did absolutely you did more than just enough. You was there the whole process. You was there emotionally. You was there physically and mentally. It took a mental toll on my life. Then when she passed away, it broke me. It it broke me like that. And like I'll say this like that. Like regaining myself it's a long process. It might take me years of that. Hell, in the next 2 months I'll be 40 years old. I'm still alive. I'm still doing it. I'm still alive with the fight. Still doing the fight. Still fighting against the against those dark thoughts. And the thing about it is like it's never too late to ask for help. You know, um, I'll say this like that. Like when it came to that point after she passed away, I kind of like left my phone, left my keys, and left my wallet. I felt like I was in a dream, but it wasn't a dream. My mind was telling me that it's this is reality. My heart was in a dark place. It was somewhere else. It was in another. It was in La La Land. My emotions was in La La Land right now. Okay, like basically like I couldn't think straight. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't feel nothing at all. It was basically like a blank slate. I ain't know what else to do. Life was teaching me something like that, and I couldn't grieve because due to the fact that like at that moment at that time I lost my job in between. Now during that time I ain't had nobody. I had a couple people like that, but I ain't had nobody at all. I ain't had nobody to talk to. I ain't had nobody to talk to. I ain't had nobody to speak to. I ain't had nobody to for them to listen to me. Okay, I was going to give up until I had a call. I had a phone call with one of my brothers from Detroit, Michigan. They asked me, "Are you okay?" I broke down crying. I broke down crying like a little boy that was 15 or 14 years old that lost his toy. Yeah, I broke down crying, and it's not nothing wrong with crying like that. Nothing wrong with doing all that either like that. The thing about it is like people would say this like that. Oh, you gotta grow up. You get you're a man. You gotta grow up to be a man to be tough at that. But you're human at the end of the day, though. You're fucking human at the end of the day, like that. Like, don't listen to those bullshit people like that that tell you that you can't cry. You're human. What's that? That don't make you that don't make you that don't make you you know any less than another person. Okay, you're showing your emotions is what most makes you human. That's the thing. Showing who you are is making you human. That's one thing that about us. Okay, when it comes to depression and mental health, you got to understand you can't lock everything away inside here like that and think that oh I'm okay. You're not okay. You fighting a endless battle within yourself. The thing about it's like you need help. You can't be arrogant. You can't be stubborn. You need a help just to gotta ask for help. And that's what I did. I asked for help. I was so prideful of telling myself like, oh, I can do this on my own. I'm lone wolf. No, it doesn't work like that. Being a lone wolf in these days of time is never gonna help. You base like a sleeping volcano like that. One day you're gonna snap like that. You never might not come back. Might do something bad to worse. Who knows? The outcome could be different or similar. I don't know. That's what happened. That's what happened with me. I was at my breaking point right now. Not right now. I'm saying like you know those years of what I've been through. And the thing about it is like like I had to understand this. I had to ask for help. I had to ask. I had to seek help, and that's what I did. Nobody ain't telling me. I had to. It could be therapy. It could be friends, family, anybody you could trust. And that's what I did. Thing about is like, like it takes time. It takes time to get back into the groove of things. It takes time to get back to where it used to be, and that's what I'm doing right now. I know I'm not gonna get no likes or no subscribers like that. I don't care. Again, I'm here to understand where you come from. I got Discord, I will later on. If you interested like that, hey, let me know. Okay, you're not alone in this fight. I understand. Y'all take care of yourselves. Okay, peace and one love.